Hey everybody, this is Dawn with Painted Willow Art. Yes, if you watched the last IGTV video, I have the same hair, same shirt, because I'm recording them on the same day. I'm posting them a day apart, but I made them all together. So, in the last video, yesterday, we took a look at a really easy way to use some simple abstract art techniques to um, create an art practice that helps you calm some stress, manage some anxiety, calm your body, quiet your mind a bit. And I wanted to show you a different take on that technique today, just so you have a little bit of a different option if you want to. Um, Again, intending to accomplish the same thing, calming the body, quieting the mind, just giving you a little bit of relaxation. And this also is another one that you can do with your kids. So I'm going to point my camera down again here real quick. Hopefully. You really need a camera on an easier swivel. This one we're going to start out with the same basic supplies. Any piece of paper, any pen. I happen to be a fan of Sharpies, so that's usually the first thing I grab, but you can really do this with any pen and any piece of paper. Any size piece of paper. That really doesn't make any difference either. Yesterday's technique, we started out by just drawing some basic lines on the page, and I'm going to do the same thing again today. I'm going to draw a couple of different kinds of lines, so it kind of plays on what we did with yesterday's video. So you can either do it with straight lines on your page, you can do it with some wavy lines on your page, or a mixture of both. And this is the same basic way we started yesterday. So we're just going to kind of do the same thing. There is really no rhyme or reason to how these lines go or how many of them there are. You just stop drawing them when you think you've got enough on your paper. So I'm going to stop right there for right now. Now, we're going to take and do a little bit different than yesterday. Actually, let me show you yesterday's real quick. Yesterday, we did this and we rounded all of the corners. So we end up with kind of a web or net type look to it. Actually, rather than a web or a net, these really fairly closely resemble photographs of neural activity, neurons firing in your brain. Yes, I think so. And this practice actually does help to rewire your brain a bit, create some new neural pathways. So we're not going to do the rounding corners this time. Today, we're going to be filling in these shapes with some additional lines. And there's a couple of different ways you can do that. Choose any of the shapes. You can do it with all of them, or you can just do it with some here and there. The first thing you can do is just trace inside that shape a little bit away from the original lines. So you're in essence creating a little box within a box, sort of. And maybe we'll do that with this one over here, only this time I'm going to keep doing it. So I've got the first one, right? And I'm just going to keep doing them. They're going to get smaller and smaller as I go. And I'm just going to continue following the contour of that shape until it's so small that I really can't do anything else with it. So the meditative piece on this one, the piece that is the calming aspect, is repeating that process over and over and over again. And much like yesterday, the reason this works is because you're giving your body something repetitive and mundane to do. So your body's not struggling, it's not heavy exercise, something like that. And you're focusing your brain on what you're doing. So like we did yesterday, if you notice your thoughts start to wander, you're going to bring them back by just telling yourself, where's my next shape? What am I going to draw in it? Brain, I need you to stay here and pay attention to what we're drawing. What shape am I going to do next? And just put your brain to work deciding where the next lines are going to go. Right? So you can keep doing that over your whole drawing. And like I said, you can do it to all of them, or you can just do it to a few of them. Whatever feels good, looks good. There's no right or wrong. There's no model that we're going to compare this to afterwards. So you just fill those in however you want to fill them in. We are also going to color this like we did yesterday, because the coloring extends the process of focusing right here, allowing your mind to calm, allowing your body to calm. And just like yesterday, there really is no right or wrong to the way you color these. Let me show you the one I did as a sample again. And this sample I did much like yesterday to show you. I just started with lines over here. And then over here I started drawing the shapes inside. Some of them are completely filled in. And then I started coloring them in. And I just did it however I thought looked good at the moment. This one I just colored the little outline pieces in. This one was all filled in, so I did each ring a different color, and it's a little hard to see the colors on the camera, but it alternates red, orange, yellow. And then this one I colored in just the insides. So you can do the same. You can do a little bit of each in each drawing. You can keep it the same and keep it consistent throughout the drawing. However you choose to do it is perfectly fine. The idea here, again, is that we're not going for gallery quality art necessarily. We're doing this for the process of allowing our minds to quiet, allowing our bodies to quiet. And like I mentioned yesterday, if you get nothing more out of this than noticing that you're breathing deeper and slower, maybe your heart rate has slowed a bit, that is perfect. We don't get enough of just that simple release and feeling better in our days most of the day. So if you accomplish nothing more than that with this, you've done good for the day. And as with yesterday's technique, this one can also be used. You can teach your kids how to do this. It's really simple for kids because it is just basic lines and shapes. So it's really easy for them to sit down and do it with you. I would suggest, if you're going to do this, like I suggested yesterday, that you sit down with some quiet space. I know sometimes with kids it's not quiet space, but if you can get them to do this with you, that might quiet them down a little bit while they're working on it. Turn some nice music on in the background. As I suggested yesterday, I would not do this with the TV on. There tends to be a lot of negative stimulation on the TV, whether you're watching the news or some other show. So I typically don't like to do this with the TV on because I find it pretty counteractive to what it is we're trying to accomplish with this. So you can sit down and do this fairly quickly. In 10 or 15 minutes perhaps, you could have a reasonable start at a drawing or maybe even have finished one. You'll notice I'm not coloring terribly carefully. I'm not going for perfection in this. I'm going for the act of putting my hand to work, which keeps my brain focused, and they're working in tandem. So it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to necessarily stay all in the lines if you don't want to. If you do want to take it a little further because you're enjoying the process and you want to add some shading and highlights on it, maybe you have some experience with drawing and coloring and you want to do a little bit of shading, give it a little bit of dimension, certainly do that. By all means, if you have that artistic drive and desire to do it, certainly do it. You can add some contouring and shading, give it a little bit of a 3D effect. It just extends the process of keeping your mind busy by keeping your hand busy, and just continues to let the process work. So there you go. That's today's quick, simple one. It's not really any more complicated than yesterday's was. Both of these can be done in a very short period of time. If you find them useful, you can even get you a little sketchbook. I have a little sketchbook about this size. I think it's like 5.5 by 8.5, something like that, that I carry with me with a small set of colored pencils, and so you can really pull this out and do it anywhere. You can start a drawing now and finish it later. You certainly don't have to finish it all in one setting, so if you do get pressed for time, don't think I can't do this because I don't have enough time. Start it, and then you can finish it later. So there you go. You have got two techniques now. This one and this one. Whoops. I can't get used to the camera being backwards. So you've got two techniques that can provide you a quick, easy way to get some stress relief. They both function on the principle of focusing your mind by keeping your body busy doing something routine and mundane that doesn't require a lot of effort. So as with yesterday, if you try this, I would love to know how you think it works for you, if you noticed a difference. And if you are interested in learning some more about this, I do have some classes coming up. There's one tonight at 6 o'clock tonight, that is going to take this a little bit further. There is another technique called an emotional scribble that creates something like this, or perhaps like this, or perhaps like this. All three of those were done with the same emotional scribble technique that isn't any harder than the two I just showed you. The lines are different, so the shapes come out different. But again, they're abstract in nature, so they're not meant to look like anything, and they're really just scribbling. There is some very specific intention behind the scribbling and a process to help release some emotions, which is why I call it an emotional scribble. And we talk about that in the class and kind of take it a little further than what I did in these two videos. But I at least wanted to give you a taste of what using art therapeutically like this can look like. These certainly aren't the only way to do it. They're just the way I do it. And I would love to have you join us on one of the upcoming classes. I'm going to be posting a new schedule, I think today or tomorrow. And by today or tomorrow, I don't know when you're watching this video, but I'm Thursday, or what day am I on? Criminy, it's late, I don't even know. I'm going to post the schedule Friday, April 10th or Saturday, April 11th. I'm trying to get some dates ironed out, so in the next couple of days, I will be posting that schedule. For right now, all of the classes are on a pay-what-you-can basis. I'm asking for $5 a piece if people can afford that. If you can't, it's perfectly okay. I won't be turning people away if you can't pay for it, because I really think there's value in these techniques, particularly right now. And the fact that they are so easy make them accessible for just about anybody, adults, kids alike. So I am offering these classes at a greatly reduced price from what I usually do them when we're doing them in person, and doing that because I don't want people to think, oh man, that might help me, but I can't afford that. I want everybody to be able to access this information. So if you're interested, keep an eye out for the upcoming classes. I will also have them posted to a link in my bio so that you can get to them real quickly. You can either register online through that link, or you can just shoot me a message with your email address and which day you want to attend, and I will get you put in the class and send you the Zoom link. They are not recorded classes. We do them live, so you'll have the opportunity to interact and hopefully give you some really good information that might give you a good way to relieve some stress. So thanks for watching. Let me know if you try these out, how they work for you, and I will see you again soon. Thanks.